Hey guys, and welcome to this video. As you can see, I've already started in the game and I'm in the replay folder. So I now want to replay or review another game by Pride. I already made 4 videos reviewing his games and telling him about the mistakes that he makes, or at least some of those mistakes. And yeah, I just uploaded the 4th video like an hour ago. And basically, Pride, he has watched my first 3 videos, video 1, 2, and 3. And he said that he had learned some things out of it. And this is basically now him playing after getting all my advice. And yeah, I'm pretty curious now to see whether he has gotten better and whether he can apply the advice that I gave to him. And yeah, here in this game, he's playing in red as humans versus a blue goth player. And that guy seems to be AFK for some reason. Okay, that was a little bit weird. And you're already starting with 2 houses, and you're making 2 more houses. Yeah, that's not terrible, of course. But yeah, then again, actually a little bit unnecessary. Because with the wood that you had, you could have made 1 lumber camp and 1 mill already. So I don't really like that you spent those houses or spent the wood on those houses immediately. And it's also a bit problematic how you placed those houses, because now it will be very hard to place a decent mill next to those berries. But yeah, I guess you can still go for these berries first after all. Okay, the player is eating his turkeys. It's turkeys. No, it's goose. Okay, or better, it's geese. On goose, several geese. What is the blue guy doing? Is he scouting with his villager? Okay. And he now puts a mill there. I would have put the mill here. But yeah, at least it's in the vicinity. So I guess it's not that bad. Okay. What I don't like about this map is that all the wood lines are pretty much distant. And that's not that bad once you're in Castle Age and you can place a TC here, for instance, or a TC here. So then it's kind of okay. But we have to say this is a mega random seed. So yeah, mega random can basically be anything. Okay, now these guys are all idle and he's making more houses. Just don't understand why, because he has more than enough pop space. And okay, we're waiting for the boar. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the problem is just on this map, if you play very aggressively, and for instance you start with archers or you make a scout rush, it's very easy to cut off your enemy from wood. So this is pretty far away, this is pretty far away, this is pretty far away. Yeah, I don't like to play maps like that, where you don't have some secure wood in common. Okay, he's placing the lumber camp here now, which is not the best spot, because there is this gold. And because of that, once there are 5 or 6 lumberjacks, it might be a little bit hard to drop off resources, and this is a bit blocking the way. So I think he could have put the lumber camp here, or maybe the lumber camp here, so that he can drop a TC later there. I would have preferred that personally. But okay, apart from that, everything's actually looking kind of decent. Oh, he's having 3 boars. Okay, that's interesting. I only saw 2 so far. And he's throwing in the boar under BTC, I like that. Yeah, and now he's eating the boar. These geese, you could already put some under the TC, and also put them a little bit closer to ATC, because if the enemy scout is seeing them, and he's riding along here, he could convert all of them, and when you have a struggle, because he can steal your geese, then yeah, and having them like this is a little bit better, definitely. Okay, now he's sending guys on berries, but he doesn't have a mill because he doesn't have the wood for it, of course. He could have trapped the scout now, it would have been pretty funny, just to make 1 quick wall here with a palisade and put a house here, and then with 2 villagers he could have killed the blue scout. Would have been funny to see that, but I definitely wouldn't expect that on 800 ELO. Okay, the blue player is moving out here. So far, I pretty much prefer what the blue player did a little bit more. Ah, okay, now he's putting his mill there. Okay, that makes sense. So he can still use this farm space. I just don't like how he made this house a little bit too close to a wood line. But yeah, it seems like he wants to build a stronghold out of houses, so that's also sensible. But so far that is looking pretty balanced actually. And now the scout is coming in. And does it convert? Does it convert? Does it convert? No. Why don't you garrison the town center? You could have easily have killed the scout now. Yeah, okay. I don't know why the red player didn't garrison his town center. I mean, you don't have to ring the bell. It's enough to just send those villagers in and shoot the scout down. I mean, on a complex in a complex game, I would have understood it because there are many things that you have to take care of at the same time. And yeah, in such a scenario, I would have understood it, that your attention is somewhere else. But really, it's just like you're having this town center here and some secondary eco. Yeah, okay, maybe the attention was on the scout, so that he didn't want to ride into the enemy TC. But that would be pretty ironic. Because at the same time where he's putting his focus on his own scout, the enemy scout is just perfectly under his TC. So if that was the case, it would be a little bit funny. Yeah, now he made more houses. Now he has pop space for 45 people and he only has 24. It's of course not a big mistake to do that, because at some point you want to boom to 40 people. And at this point you will need the houses. But then again, why are you making houses that you don't need? I mean, even without those two houses, you're at 35 max pop. So at this point you absolutely didn't need more houses, and you should have spent your wood on other things. Like you could have made a barracks, for instance. So I would have preferred to see that. But yeah, it's okay. Maybe I just wanted to prepare for his cumin boom, where he's putting more TCs. Ah, okay, now he made a stronghold here. That's not too bad, actually. He's even agreeing with me in German. Hey, ja, ja. This does look good. Ja, ja, radida. Ah, no, that's what the Vikings say. But funny thing is, when you are German, you can also understand some of the things that the Vikings actually say. Because we were speaking Old Nordic, and yeah, as a German you can understand some part of it. Okay, now he's building a market. Okay, I thought he's making a new TC because he's humans, but he is just making a market. Okay. So as far as you can see, he's picking. He's trying to fast castle. It's actually funny, because with humans you would usually do a feudal age boom. I mean, of course you can also play fast castle into knights with humans. There is nothing that would be against that. But if you pick humans, of course it's much more sensible to make use of their bonuses. But then again, it's mega random, and Darren told me that he very often plays random, or usually plays random. So maybe he didn't even pick the civ, but it just was assigned to him randomly. That would of course make some sense, I would say. Okay, now he has these guys on gold there. Get in the gold for castle age. He's making his farm sphere. And he's researching wheelbarrow while it's still being in feudal age and only having one TC. Okay, that's a bit strange. I mean, if he was Vietnamese, I could perfectly understand it, because the Vietnamese got some buffs concerning the eco. And yeah, if the Vietnamese eco upgrades don't cost gold, and we research twice as fast, 100% faster, which means twice as fast. And yeah, it's not that much wood that you would save, but you save 50 wood, and it's much faster in. So if he had been Vietnamese, I would have understood that. But researching wheelbarrow with only like 8 farmers, yeah, like with only 8 farmers. That is not that sensible, because usually people say that you need 12 to 15 farmers, so that getting this upgrade is actually justified, or that getting this upgrade is well timed after all. And now he's making even more houses. I mean, I understand that he wants to protect his wood line, that he wants to protect his villagers here on this wood line. But a simple palisade wall would have been more than enough, I would say. Just make a simple palisade wall and wall your villagers in like that. Because houses are much more expensive than a palisade wall. Palisade walls are only 2 stone per piece. No, 3 stone per piece. Okay, sorry. I think with the Mayans it's like 2 or even 1. No, I think it's 2 with the Mayans. But anyways, he could have made just a palisade wall. And yeah, basically then with this palisade wall he would have been safe as well. Because, I mean, it's not wrong to make a house wall. But in this place you don't really need it, and you already have 60 pop space at this point. And you only have 30 pop, so making the whole wall out of houses is a little bit overkill in my opinion. Yeah, what I'm missing here is the aggression. The blue player already made 2 barracks. I mean, 1 barrack and a palisade wall would have been very sensible. Yeah, and for some reason they didn't want to eat that for a goose, whatever. And he made 4 protective spearmen to defend his economy. But the red player is now on the way to Castle Age very well, and he's making a second TC, which came in a little bit late, but then again, yeah, you don't have to make the second TC in Feudal Age, I guess. It's perfectly fine if you just make it on the way to Castle Age. I mean, you're still making use of your bonus, because after all, if you only... even if you only make your TC 2 minutes earlier than you usually would have made with a generic Civ, but still 2 minutes in which you can pull out villagers, and as one villager takes half a minute to create, but still can easily put you 4 villagers ahead. So it's not too bad to play with humans like a generic Civ. I mean, only because we have a bonus doesn't mean we have to use it. Yeah, and now you got the sound like boom, the geese were detected. And you're sending them home like that. I wouldn't have done that. I would have sent 1 like here and here. And then the other 2 like to the side, down and here. So, but basically they serve 2 functions. 1 is scouting the rest of the map. And the thing is, if you split them up, the enemy, if he tries to get them with his scouts, or with his scout, if he only has 1, he will only find 1 at a place. So basically, if you split your geese up the next time, you have better chances that at least some of them will not be detected, and some of them will go to your TC after all. Okay, now the blue player makes a lot of pikes, or better spearmen. I mean, we also have kind of pikes, but we are not pikemen. It's not the worst decision, because the Clone player is very good with cavalry. I mean, it's a cavalry civilization after all. So making a couple of spears is definitely not the worst thing that you would want to do. Yeah, but now so far the eco looks very good. You're having 3 TCs. As far as I can see, all of them are pumping out villagers. So your will lead should be incredible very soon. The blue player still has a little bit more of population because of the military he made there. But I think the build score should be around the same actually. And as the blue guy still didn't research Castle Age, maybe he does now. No, still not researching Castle Age, but at this point he should very soon, because he has the resources for it. Actually, he even has too much gold there. Yeah, and now he's researching Castle Age. I was waiting for that. Yeah, as he has to research Castle Age. What's this? Okay, sorry. This was still the blue TC. Yeah, it now should be very easy to get ahead in villagers. It's a little bit difficult to say what to make versus the Goths as humans, because you don't have the best arbalesters. So if he wants to make mass militia, for instance, you don't have arbalesters, and also the crossbowmen don't scale so well because we don't have bracer. Then what you usually want to do versus Goths is making hand cannoneer. The humans don't have that, so that's a little bit difficult. Heavy Scorpion could be a very good answer to mass infantry by the Gov, but the humans only have normal Scorpion, and as far as I know, we don't even have, we don't have siege engineers. We have a very poor university, so you see, the humans, they were obviously not the biggest scholars in history. We just have the very most basic stuff that you would need. Ballistics, chemistry, some masonry, murder holes, and heated shot. So this is looking really bad actually. Kipchak are not perfect versus infantry either. So this is actually a pretty hard matchup for the humans in my opinion. Because the Govs, they just have much better options, and I don't see strong counters there with the humans. I mean, if we had a Bracer, we could make a combination of maybe champions versus Vascals and heavy Cav Archer versus the Pikes, the Halberdiers, and the champions. So that would work out, but really as a human, I don't know so much what you should be doing at this point. I mean, you can still make masses of Kipchak, that's of course an idea, but even the monks aren't great with the humans. No redemption, no block print, it really doesn't look so well. And having no siege engineers and no heavy scorpion, yeah, it's really hard to counter Govs as a human player, especially if you also consider all the refunds. Yeah, I think what you have to do here is just going into Cav Archers and trying to do some Cav Archer raiding. Okay. Now the blue player already has 16 spears as far as I can count here. No, 17 even. 17 now. 18. Ah, okay, but now you're making a forward castle. I like that. You might have considered to make a small wall here, so that the enemy cannot prevent it. But I'm really liking this castle, because it completely denies all the wood. And so far, the blue player has made the mistake, but he didn't have a secondary wood line. Although I think this would be a very good spot for a secondary wood line. Yeah, this is now the blue player's own fault, but he's getting castle dropped because he didn't scout properly. I mean, if he had seen that with this big mass of spearmen, even 4 spearmen are a rather weak unit, but with this big mass of spearmen, it would have been very easy to deny this castle. So the blue player definitely plays much too passive in this game. It's funny how the blue player's name is just Twitch. Like, I mean, Twitch is a streaming platform, so yeah, it makes sense, kind of sense. He's maybe streaming for Twitch, on Twitch, but it just says Twitch. It doesn't say user X underscore or underline Twitch. It just says Twitch without anything else than that. Yeah, that's pretty funny actually. The funny thing is also, Govs, we get like some arson, or like the tech arson for free. So in the barracks there's this tech, it's called arson, that lets you do more damage versus buildings, and the Govs, we don't have that, but we get a better thing for free, which is additional attack versus buildings, +3 in total in Imperial Age, so +1 in Feudal, +2 in Dark Age, +2 in Castle Age, and +3 in Imperial Age. So I think as long as the red player didn't research murder holes, and that is highly unlikely because I haven't seen a university so far. Whoops, return to map, sorry. As the red player probably doesn't have murder holes, yeah. The blue player could actually now attack with his spearman or with his pikeman and completely destroy this castle. It would be funny to see that, because I think every pikeman should do like 3 or 4 damage now versus the castle. So with 25 pikemen, you should very easily be able to destroy this castle in a decent time of maybe 1.5 to 2 minutes, something like that. So that's something you might want to do there. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, you have to scout a little bit more, and when you see that the enemy only has pikes and some long swords, I think that's already long swords. Is it long swords? Yeah. instant longswords. I think at this point it would have made more sense to make a small army of Kipchak. And I think that with a couple of Kipchak, maybe 12 or 15 Kipchak, you could be very annoying because you could be raiding his eco, you could be raiding his stone supply, you could be raiding his gold supply, you could be killing some military units. So I wouldn't say that you've played this terribly bad at this point. But then again, you could be more aggressive. Also, you could send the scouts here to at least kill the houses there. So I'm missing a little bit of flexibility and of aggressiveness there. Okay. Could theoretically now make a new lumber, a new TC around here. That would make sense. Or you take a stone and you make a very, very aggressive castle. That's of course another idea that you could do. You know, this guy is making a castle. Okay. It's pretty much unprotected. Here are some longswordsmen. Ah, now you're making another castle here. Okay, it's a little bit brave to only send 5 villagers, or no, 6, no, it's 5 villagers. But okay, as long as the blue player doesn't scout that, it doesn't really matter, because I don't think that he is seeing that now. Yeah, he's completely unaware that there is another castle there. But it's actually funny that today the big mistake of a blue player is what I've criticized in the review 1, 2 and 3. Because in these games you had a lot of military that was unused after all, that you didn't use for your purposes. And yeah, now the blue player is making the exact same. He's just making pikemen. And if he had pushed a little bit with that and maybe had killed one castle or so, that would have made some sense. But yeah, they were all passive until now. And yeah, an army is of course of no use if you are just standing in the back of your base. But the blue player is now approaching to... Oops, why is it slow now? So, the blue player is approaching now. I'm trying to deal some damage here. He's attacking the wood line. I actually like that. That's not the worst place you could attack with. Or where you could attack. Okay. But is losing his light cav there. But he still snacks a villager, that's something. Ah, and he's getting instant nice mangonel shots. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, but of course that is now not a good deal. I mean, it wouldn't have been wrong to I wouldn't say that in general it is a bad decision to make step lancers with humans, but countering pikemen with step lancers is not the best idea, and it wouldn't have been wrong to make some light cav or so out of your stable to have some units versus the longswordmen. But in this matchup, of course, when you can very clearly say or very clearly tell that your enemy is most likely coming with masses of infantry, and that includes pikemen and later on halberdier. In this matchup versus the Goths, I think it's pretty obvious that you should go for cav archers, even if you don't get full upgrades in Imperial Age. But I think heavy cav archers would still be a decent play here. Okay, but this one actually pretty nice. The step lancers could make use of their range bonus. And red player is in Imperial Age and researches conscription as first. Okay, and the blue player just resigns because he thinks, oh, he's in Imperial Age. Okay, I absolutely don't like what he has been researching there. Because hoardings you don't really need at this point. The enemy is not able to attack your castles, at least as long as you have murder holes. So instead of hoardings, I would have preferred making murder holes in the university, so that your castle foundations cannot be attacked. And the first thing I would have done out of these two castles is making a trap here to attack this castle and making a trap here to attack this castle. Then you can maybe research conscription, maybe, but I think your focus at this point should be your focus should be attacking this castle here. and then also gave us some kip check or some heavy cav archers to actually attack the town centers. Yeah, but so far the game was definitely a bit better than the ones that I've seen before that. What I liked about the red player's approach is that he basically had a plan, so you could see he was going for something here. He didn't perfectly pull it through, but I liked the castle. Yeah, again, it would have been nice to see some more scouting so far. As I said, now researching conscription first and hoardings is not the best idea in my opinion. But then again, the blue player is not even on his way to Imperial Age, I would say. He's not even imping at this point. So that's not the worst thing there. Yeah, and also now he stacks a lot of resources. He has almost 2000 gold. If you just think about it, if he had made one monastery, he could easily have made like 10 or 12 monks. And then he could have converted some of his step lancers. So the blue player, yeah, he didn't make use of his resources, and you managed to punish that pretty well actually. Yeah, I pointed out some mistakes there, but overall I think it was kind of a decent game. Yeah. Just make your murder holes, get your traps out and make a trap war, and this thing would be over anyways. Okay. I'm just thinking about another thing that I want to say about that, but I think I have already put out all the criticism of the things that I think you did not so well. And I also think that I pointed out most of the things where I said that you did it well. What I like with your playstyle is that you're going for the relics, that you're always getting the relics. It's a little bit risky, of course, to send out monks without any protection and tell these guys, yeah, just get this relic for me, I'm sure you can do it, buddy. So this is a little bit problematic at some point, but you went for relics and it didn't get punished. You only forgot one here, but you probably couldn't see that because you didn't scout that. Did you? Okay, I cannot see it anymore because replay is over at this point. Yeah, but you got 4 relics, or at least you got 3 relics offer on the way. What you might have made is another defensive castle next to the monastery, so that your farming eco and your monastery are both safe so far. Yeah, but apart from that, I think the game was decent so far. I definitely think that this win was deserved because the blue player, yeah, he just didn't play very well in this one, and he was much defensive, and yeah, he just had this castle drop happen and so on. So yeah, it's kind of deserved that you could punish him for that kind of playstyle. Good. But for now, I think that's the last review video so far that I will make for you, Darren. Not saying that there won't be any more in the future, but I've made now 5 review videos of your games, so I think that should be enough input so far. But if you ever have a really crazy game, or if you ever go above 900 ELO, for instance, so at the moment you're at 800 ELO, if you manage to come above 900 ELO, you can send me a game and I can have a look how much you have improved. I would be very interested in that, because I sure see some potential there, and as I said, I think you could take some of my advice into your gameplay now, because I would say that this was at least, or means at least, that sounds very negative, this was definitely better than the former videos, especially 1 to 3 that I've seen. Good. Yeah, but that having been said, without repeating myself too much, thanks for watching. I hope you could take something out of it. I hope you could also learn something, and Darren, maybe also some other people could learn something out of this, if you're on the same ELO, and or you're making similar or same mistakes to what Pride is doing here. Yeah, I hope this was helpful to some of you. So at this point, thank you for your attention, thank you for your time, and it would be very nice to see you in future videos. So it would be very nice to also get a thumbs up, a comment, or a subscription if you're interested in seeing more content like this. And apart from that, So either way, if you give me a thumbs up or not, have a nice day or evening, and I would be thrilled to see you in future videos. So, yeah. Thanks again for watching, and see you soon, guys.